from Swanky 93.3 and the Heat 94.6 brings back the hottest hip-hop radio show live from K.L.P. Entertainment and K.L.P. Studios. It's K.L.P. Aftermath. Morning with your host, K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas.
You know what it is? Put your hands up.
Tune in now on any audio platform.
Go.
Y'all know what time it is.
You know what time it is. Swanky one.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Kennedy Lucas.
Yeah, buddy. We back.
Let's go.
Turn me up, son. Talking back, I'm talking back,
Hey,
I'm talking back.
hey.
Detonator.
Woo! This my jam, see? I be working out to this song. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Yeah, buddy. Hey, come on, Killer Mike. Run the jewels. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We back in the most incredible way, man. I tell y'all. Boy, howdy. Shout out to all the podcasters out there, man. Shout out to all the entrepreneurs out there, the Atlanta people. Shout out to all the newly married couples. Shout out to all the rappers, artists, and singers out there. Ladies, this one's for y'all. Shout out to everybody out there. Shout out to Rogue, man. Rogue. Shout out to GGC Athletics. We got a story about them. I promise you. Hey. Elevator. Hey. Elevator. Shout out to all the entrepreneurs, man. The scalpers and the scammers, man. Hey. Blessed and highly favored, man. Let me get a sip of this water. Hydration is important, y'all. Shout out to all the gym goers, man. Shout out to everybody who's probably on vacation by now. Hey. Shout out to my guy T and Wyatt, man. That Bro Code podcast was good yesterday. Hey. Shout out to everybody who have their talk show. Shout out to everybody who got a talk show. We dope in here. Shout out to all the podcasters, small or big, man. Shout out to all the radio stations, too. Yeah, buddy. Shout out to my family. Love y'all. I couldn't do this without y'all. And this thing called life, I couldn't do it without y'all. Shout out to my girl, Monica. Hey, Monica, I see you. Elevator. Hey. I be working out to this song, y'all. I promise y'all, I be working out to this song. We're gonna get to the proceedings in a second. Yeah, buddy. Hey. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome. Welcome to the highly anticipated podcast from K.L.P. Entertainment and K.L.P. Studios. This is the K.L.P. Aftermath Podcast. And I'm your gracious, your humbled, your highly favored, your blessful, your healthy. Y'all see my post the other day, the muscles coming in swole, y'all. Your podcast host, Kennedy Lucas here. Yeah, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, boy howdy, let me tell y'all, we have a Grand Slam episode for you guys on Friday night. Shout out to everybody because it is Friday night. If you are one of those people out there that work that 9 to 5, first and foremost, God bless you, because it's tough out here. But for all of you guys who out there who might have been getting paid this week, paychecks hit on Friday, shout out to y'all. Now, we hope that you guys been enjoying this week when it comes down to content, right? We've been doing a lot of One Big Question with Renee Smith, and then the Bro Code podcast. I got 2 episodes. Guys, take a look. Yesterday's episode, it was T and my guy Wyatt. Last night on the Bro Code podcast. I know we were uploading media stuff late last night because I have a story. I have stories to talk to you guys about. So we're going to start off with it being yesterday, and we're going to start to the proceedings very, very early. But today's episode was brought to you by my favorite thing to use to wipe my bum, Dude Wipes. Shout out to Dude Wipes. Let me tell y'all, my ass has been clean lately. So, hey, if you want a solution for better wiping after you get done using the bathroom, let me tell you, Dude Wipes is there. Now, I got to get to the proceedings on this podcast because I've got some stories to tell you guys today, but I did a shout out at the intro of this podcast. And I know I was doing uploading media stuff late last night, but I wanted to talk about this because yesterday, let me tell you about what happened yesterday. Now, it is no secret that you guys know that I've graduated from Georgia Gwinnett College in 2020. I graduated with my master's at National University. Shout out to them. But you always got to remember that GGC has my heart. It does, right? I was able to go out to the marketing club, speak to some students, really having a great time. Shout out to the students of the marketing club and Dr. Schraller again. We love y'all up here in the studio. But I was at GGC on campus yesterday because I was able, when they call, and I posted about it, when they call on somebody to produce, executive produce, and be a good producer, and they call nothing but the best, then I got to show up for them, right? I got to show up for them. So yesterday was I don't want to say it was a long day yesterday, but it was a long day, right? So I got to send my shout outs for sure to both teams of GGC Athletics, baseball and softball. Now, they both are going to the NAIA World Series. And let me tell y'all, this has been in the making, really. It's 7 times that, Coach Inger and the boys are going to the World Series in Lewiston, Idaho. And now the ladies with Coach Cat, they're on their way to their World Series again. They've been to the World Series before. But there's just something about it, there's something different about these two teams, right? Because you look at the GGC baseball team, we seen them beat a team 20-1, right? And then the ladies over at softball, they're doing some really awesome work when it comes down to that as well. Yesterday was a rally, right? Now, unfortunately, I don't know where I was when it come down to the tournament of softball, but I got to send my air horns and my congratulations to the ladies because, yes, they are going to the World Series. I saw them on social media, right? Their social media accounts, follow them, by the way. I seen them celebrating. They're doing their thing. I think they got a good story here. You got one of the main pitchers. They have a career setting of over 1,000 straight strikeouts as well. So very, very a story to tell for that as well. But just something about the ladies, I think they might get the World Series. It's the same thing when it comes down to men's baseball. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this, and a lot of people are asking me, Kennedy, why are you talking about this? And I say I talk about this because, believe it or not, once upon a time, I played baseball. I actually thoroughly enjoyed baseball. Did I make some home runs when I played baseball? Absolutely not. No. But I was able to be a right fielder to catch the ball, and I was a hitter, right? So I had some time to play baseball. Since then, I have been retired for playing baseball, but I've played baseball, so I can kind of relate to the sport when it comes down to it. So yesterday, I pulled up to the athletics building to help broadcast the 2 matches. Now, I was a little bit nervous, right? And I got to talk about the men's baseball because that's the one that I've seen personally I was there for. Not to say nothing against the softball team because they are awesome at what they do. I've broadcast them before, but I couldn't be able to be there at their game. So I was at the baseball game yesterday, and very, very fantastic to see that the pressure's high. The boys look nervous. Coach looked nervous as all get out, right? Because they went through against a team by the name of Kaiser University in Miami, Florida. Shout out to them. I got to give my shout outs. I know I got to be biased. Right, I'm a Grizzly. I got to be a little bit biased, but I got to give a shout out to my Kaiser University guys for baseball too because they gave a good match. Now, here what the bracket was supposed to be. The bracket is if the first game is Kaiser versus GGC. If GGC loses this matchup and Kaiser wins, Kaiser advances to the World Series. That's kaput. And I was nervous at first, right? Kaiser put up some numbers, made some runs on there. Kaiser put some numbers on there. I tell you, I was nervous. Like, oh, I don't know. The boys may not get this one, right? It's a tough competition. You got number 1 versus number 2. That might be a little tough, right? Oh, boy, howdy. Boy, howdy. Boy, howdy, was I wrong. I was so wrong at this. Of course, the men's baseball team put up some more runs to beat Kaiser. I think it was like 11-10, if I'm not mistaken. So that was the first match. GGC comes up on top. So now we've got to play a second game the same day. Second game. I like how the games became early, right? The first game was at 9 o'clock. The second one was at 3:15. So it didn't take us all day. Thank God, because I got home around like 7 o'clock. So I still had the rest of my night to myself real quick. But that second game was very, very intriguing. That second game was, hey, you better come in. 2 teams, number 1 and number 2, winner takes all, right? If GGC wins, they're going to the World Series. If Kaiser's winning, they're going to the World Series. All anticipations were high, right? I got to give a shout out again to Kaiser. They put up a good match, but then GGC baseball comes out on top, and they are now going to the World Series. Good matchup. Good game. Good game. So this shout out goes out to, again, the baseball team and softball team, both teams, for the spring sports, because they're both going to the World Series. I do hope they see this clip and we give them a great shout out for social media. But I got nervous because one of the pitchers that struck out the last 3 outs to win the World Series, he got dogpiled on, and I got nervous. Everybody was like, yeah, they're celebrating. Everybody was crying, and I was like, is he okay? Because a lot of these men, they lifting weights, they're athletes, all of them dogpiling on this guy. I'm like, hey, give me some breathing room, right? But you can only just tell that, this pitcher and then other pitchers throughout the game, anticipation was high, right? You could cut it with a knife in the air that something was going on in the air, and the boys were able to rally. I'm always going to be a rep for athletics because that's where I began my journey at the college level, learning how to do sports production, and it allows me to be the professional journalist and podcaster that I am today. So I've got to give a shout out to it. Got to give a shout out to the GDN crew, the students, the young students that work in GDN as well, because it was all day. It was all day. But the season is now over. I'm very, very happy to see our team win. I'm always going to rep for GGC, regardless if I'm sports broadcasting or regardless if I'm not there anymore. I still got to rep GGC because they are expanding this thing out, and it gets me very, very, very excited. Of course, I was able to, take my selfie. Y'all saw the shirt. I had the shirt on, and the muscles was gaining up for sure. That one goes to I tell you, that one goes out to Crunch Snellville, because they allowed me to get my mind right here today. And today I've noticed something. And I'm not going to call this young lady out because I don't know if she watches the show or not. I don't know. But I've been very vocal about some stuff, right? And I even apologized to Crunch Snellville. They didn't expect me to say, have an apology, but I do have an opinion, right? I do have an opinion when it comes down to it, because Crunch, in general, Crunch is my favorite gym to go to. That is my love. That is my life. I mean, I go to the one in Snellville. If you guys want to come up and say, hey, you want to work out and work in with me, by all means. I'm not, I ain't like that. I like to talk and I like to be friendly. I like to dance and I like to smile, right? A lot of people, the trainers, when I checked in today, because obviously I went to the gym today, the guy, Damian Kid, says, hey, and Kennedy, I saw you tagged us. We appreciate it. It's all love. Now, there is no secret before. Again, I won't call this young lady's name out, but I'm going to say it because I need a topic for today's episode. When it comes down to it, I've had some run-ins, semi-run-ins to some of the trainers there. I think some of the trainers, they've got a lot to learn about customer service and hospitality and making sure that people feel welcome. And I'm not just talking about Brandy and Bree, because they are awesome. That one's for y'all. But there's other trainers out there that, you've got it to where they've got that, what you call a resting bitch face. I've said that before in the podcast. But I saw something today, T. I saw something that sparked my interest. And then, of course, I've told other trainers that this young lady needs to do this more. One of the trainers was smiling. She got a nice, beautiful smile. I said, there you go. Because every time I come in here, you look a little mean. You look a little sad. You look a little pissed off. And let me not just come say hey to you because you look a little pissed off. And you might slap me, right? You might hit me. You might punch me. You might cuss me out. But boy, howdy, when I saw her smile, T, I was very, very intrigued. Beautiful smile. So then I told Justin, shout out to Justin. I said, hey, what's her name? Yeah, the trainer, her name. I said, yeah, she smiled today. And I laughed. Justin laughed. I was like, no, but seriously, she smiled today. Tell her she looks 10 times as more pretty and beautiful when she smiles. Because every time I come in there, she's mad looking, pissed off, upset with the world. And the reason why I bring that up to Justin, because I get it. I'm learning that, everybody can't be happy, joy every time because we're going through some stuff. I completely understand. We're going through a whole heap of a lot of things out there. Let me tell you, boy, howdy, there's a lot of things that's troubling some people out there in this world. I understand that. Trust me, for me, I'm not happy all the time, but when I'm in the gym, I'm going to smirk, I'm going to laugh, I'm going to sing my little ass off, and I'm going to dance. I'm going to have a great time. Because I've learned that life is too short to be upset or to be pissed off, to have a resting bitch face all the time. And I'm not saying, I ain't calling her a bitch before y'all judge me on this show. I'm not calling her a bitch, but I'm saying she's always had a resting bitch face. And I say, when I see somebody smile, she was smiling at a client. I said, yeah, you need to do that more. I didn't tell her that personally. I wanted to, but I was kind of scared I was going to get slapped at or screamed at. But I said, yeah, you need to do that more. Smile, be happy, because you got to understand. The reason why I get up and smile every day is because I'm blessed. I'm highly favored. I can't say, I've said it in the last episode, I'm financially loose, but I'm not financially free quite just yet. There's a lot of things I've got to work on myself. I can't say that I'm perfect, but damn it, I think I'm doing a good job so far. So I get up in the morning, I have my health. God allows me to get up with great energy, great spirits. My parents are healthy. My family members are healthy. My friends are healthy. Everybody is healthy in this world. Though they can explore, they can go to work, they can make their money, they can be happy doing what they need to do, and they're able to not be and this is a fortunate thing, good thing, to not be 6 feet under. That's why I'm trying to encourage people to smile more. That young lady that's a trainer at the gym, smile more. Because you got, and I'm not talking to her in particular, I'm talking to a lot of trainers throughout the whole gym scene. Not just Snellville, but I'm talking Tucker, Roswell. These are just because we're here in Atlanta, so I'm naming the Atlanta locations. But smile more. Because as a trainer, when you're smiling at the client that you're training, they feel more confident. Right? Shout out to Bria and Brandy. Every time I was coming in, they're smiling. Hey, Kenny, how you doing? I saw you follow me on social media. I like that interaction. I think I want to have an interaction with all the trainers. I really, really do. That young lady that I saw that smile again, I won't name her name but I would love to interact with her. Because deep down, I think she could be a nice person. Now, I'm not flirting. I'm not trying to hit. I'm not trying to do anything. I genuinely think she could be a nice person. Right? I try to see the good in people. And we love hard. Not in a relationship, but we love hard. I'm a Taurus. My birthday was, 3-4 days ago. So I love hard as a Taurus. I care. But smiling is something that I just recommend. It was really nice to see her smile for once. I love that for her. I really do. And we're going to continue this thing. So coming up next, boy, howdy, do we have a show review for you guys today. Now, last week I said that I was going to review the hit show from HBO Max. HBO Max now, they changed the name from Max to HBO Max, which is smart because every time I'm saying, hey, I watch it on HBO Max, I find myself saying HBO Max instead of saying Max, right? So we all know lately They changed it to Max. They changed the color. They changed the app color and everything. But now they're understanding that, hey, we might need to change this back because people are relating to it. And it makes sense because it's what makes them different. So I applaud HBO Max for changing the name back to HBO Max, because when you think HBO, the way I see it, when you say Max, you think, okay, another streaming service. This is just my marketing degree because I got a bachelor's degree in marketing and a master's in project management. But when you say HBO Max, then you think, oh, dope shows, right? Because HBO does quite amazing shows, right? This show is no different than the others. This show is really, really good. I do say you got to have the stomach for this one, right? This is going to be a show that is going to kind of trigger you at some sort of thing, but is a medical drama, and it's called The Pit. Now, first of all, now, I'm very, very happy about this show because this show is fantastic. Again, like I say, this is a show you've got to have the stomach for because it will trigger you. It's going to trigger some things with you when it comes down to the medical stuff. This show, and it's a close comparison to Grey's Anatomy, this is a show where there's drama, but then you get to see what they're doing as doctors, right? I couldn't do this shit because it's a lot. Now, this show is really, really good because each episode is like, so you have an 8 to 12 hour shift. Each episode goes within the hour. So it's not like one episode you get a full day of stuff and then the next episode is another day. No, it's all in one day of 8 hours, 8 to 12 hours. But how the way this works, let's say episode 1 is from 7, they name it 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Episode 2 is 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Episode 3 is 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. and so on and so forth. That is so genius. First and foremost, that's really genius. Now you're watching this show of these doctors. Of course, you've got Noah Wiley as the main star of this show. Of course, he is playing Dr. Michael Ramovich, Dr. Robbie. So he's playing Dr. Robbie in this. He's played in a lot of stuff before. He was actually in the original show from 1994 to 2009 called ER, right? So it's very fitting to have him in there. He's played a doctor before, so it feels good to see him playing a doctor again, and it's just being in a different light. He's the main star of this. He's very smart. He's very witty. He's very Robbie, and I'm sure I'm sure he's a very witty person as well. But he's been in some stuff too where he knows about the doctor acting or acting as a doctor, being that he was in the original ER. Now, Noah Weil, he's an American actor and a film producer, so he has his toes dabbled into both. I think he's fantastic. I think he might he's a Primetime Emmy Award winner for some shows too. I think this show might even get an Emmy, honestly, because it's really that good. Very, very good to see Noah Wiley back into the acting side of things. Then you have Taylor Darden, who plays Dr. Melissa King. She's such a sweetheart in this. The character is such a sweetheart. She's so innocent. You just want to love her. Wifey material, honestly. The character and her, because she's very pretty. But Dr. King, the character, she's loving. She's knowing what she loves to do, but then she has a sister who is autistic. So she in this episode, you're going to see that she's going to interact with patients who might be also autistic as well. So she's able to interact with that a little bit better. She misses her sister because her sister was, I think, admitted to a facility. So she's going through some stuff. And then she's quirky and she does some things to make herself feel a little bit more comfortable when she's overly stressed. One thing about Taylor Darden's character, Dr. King, I do this too, and it was very cool that she did this because I do this too, T. When it comes down to it, listening to white noise to help me concentrate, to help me calm down, calm my nerves. Along with that, I meditate, but that's a thing that she does as well. There's a story behind her because she is more of the student doctor. And that's the thing about this show too, T, that some of these characters that I'm going to name, they're student doctors, and then they're working with the lead residency and the lead tenant, right? And then Noah Wild's character, Dr. Romovich, Dr. Robbie, he's like the head director of everybody. So very, very cool. And then you had Issa, I might butcher these names, Brunos to play Dr. Santos. She's cute. Yeah, she's cute. She's 26, so I'm a little older than her. But she's good, you know. Very, very good in this. She's like this badass chick, right? She's an American actor and singer, Issa Bronis, but her character, Dr. Santos, her character is so badass. Like, she's so confident in what she wants to do when it comes down to helping a patient, and you can't tell this girl no. That's why I like her too, because she's really just that damn good. All right, then you have Catherine Lanessa to play Dana Evans. Dana is the head nurse lead, so her character is, you gotta love Dana Evans, the character. I'm naming characters, y'all. You gotta love that character because she is so sweet. She's such a sweetheart, and she cares about everybody. And then she wants to make sure that everything runs smoothly. And then she's kind of directing patient and traffic flow. It felt bad. Spoiler alert to a lot of people who haven't seen it. I'm sorry, but I got to spoil some things. I think episode 7 or 8, she gets punched by a patient because the patient got tired of waiting. I felt really bad. I felt like you better kick his ass. But she got punched in the nose by this patient who just didn't want to wait. I was very sad about that, too, because she's such a sweetheart. She's such an angel. She doesn't want to harm anybody. She doesn't want to hurt anybody. She just want to help everybody. But then the hospital, and this is the sort of realism, too, with hospitals that I've seen, because obviously I work in the medical field. I've been to quite a few hospitals, actually, not recently as a visit, but just a visit as a business thing in Chicago and in Detroit and even here in Atlanta. There are some hospitals, unfortunately, that are low staff. That's kind of like the realism about this show is this is the hospital based off in Pittsburgh. If you didn't catch on to the show, the Pit, Pittsburgh, and then that's what they call it, the ER room, the Pit. Catchy name too. Just the name works. But there are hospitals that are low in staffing. That happens in real life because to be a nurse, to be a doctor, you got to go to school. You got to go through the patients. You got to go through everything. And people that say, hey, I don't think I want to do this, right? Now, fortunately for me, working in the medical field, I work in the business aspect of it. I don't work in the ER aspect of it. I couldn't do this. I said it before. I couldn't do this shit. I couldn't do it. So you got to have a lot of patience for it. That's the sort of realism that you're having a lot that, nurses, there's very few nurses out here in the world. That's just the thing, right? People don't want to do it anymore. People don't want to go to work. People don't want to work tremendously hard for less pay. That's just the market. That's the economy right now. People just don't want to do it. And that's what you want to see in Dana Evans. Of course, you had Sean Hotze. He plays Jack Abbott. You'll see him sporadically in this episode. Patrick Ball. Let me tell you about Patrick Ball. He plays Frank Landon. He's cool. He's like a really cool guy that I would love to hang out with. He is, now his character, not the person, Patrick Ball, but his character, Dr. Langdon, Frank Langdon, he is the know-it-all. What he says goes. He's the Mr. Right all the time. He's so confident in himself as a doctor. And that's what he rubs heads with Dr. Santos about because he think he's hot shit. And he's good at the character is good at what he do, but it's the arrogance that comes out of it that everybody doesn't like. Sometimes in this episode, boy, let me tell you, there's been some times in this episode to where Frank Landon would do something like, I just want to punch him. Just want to punch him in the face one good time, one look, just deck him one time. But he can't because he's smart. He knows what he's doing, right? He having to run into because, he's going through some stuff. He's going through some personal stuff with Dr. Langdon, with him and his wife, and he buys a dog. And then Dr. Santos messes up. So now he's on her case and just kind of, and you got to be careful about this one because there's this one episode where he had a conversation with Dr. Santos and this would not fly in today's real world. He was like, hey, as a nurse, you either have, as a student, you got to shut up and listen. Like, oh, you can't tell a girl that. In today's economy, you got to be careful how you say that to a woman, right? Then you got Fiona Dourif. Ooh, I hope I pronounced that name right. She plays Dr. McKay. Dr. McKay is a character you want to love. Now, obviously, she is a doctor, but she has a son. The character has a son, and then she has an ex. The ex comes to the hospital because the ex and the son go skateboarding, and then the ex get into an accident. He get admitted to the hospital where she's working at, and there was some controversy between her because now she's wearing a monitoring ankle monitor, right? So she got into a little bit of trouble. When I saw that, I said, that is a blessing that you can still be a doctor and have an ankle monitor on. In today's world, you got to be careful because if you get into trouble like that, then you could be disbarred from nursing your license to be a doctor, right? So that was very, very cool. She's a sweetheart too. She has the best outlook for stuff when it comes down to her character. Now, next you have Sabana Aziz. She plays Javidi. There's one of the youngest, I want to say, nursing doctor, student doctor. She's 20, the character, she's 20. Her mom works at the same hospital, and now she has high expectations because now her mom works at this hospital. She thinks that she can get special treatment. The first episode, she saw somebody, and it was gross. Now, it was a patient who fell, who got pushed, and her ankle got twisted up like a pretzel. And had to untwist it, and she fainted. I would have fainted too. Boy howdy, I would have fainted. I almost fainted at one time where my little brother was at the hospital because they were working and they slipped and cut their finger. And I met them at the hospital because I thought they got really hurt. And they had to stitch them up, and it looked like roast beef, like just meat, just ugh, and I almost fainted. And they was like, "You all right?" Like, no, I think I'm about to pass out. So I would have done the same thing too if I would have seen this in real life. Her character, let me tell you, Sabana Aziz, she's so pretty. That jawline, them dimples, she fine. But the character, she's trying to work hard. She's trying to be apart from her mom, because her mom is one of the head doctors there. And it's just one of those things that, you don't want to have like kind of like nepotism or anything like that, but she's trying to find her own way as well. She's good. She's very good at what she does. Acting wise, it's always good to see people of color, especially. I don't know if she's from like India or not, but I love to see that. My other favorite, Tracy, and I might butcher her last name, Tracy Afikor. If I pronounce that right, give me a thumbs up. She's my favorite, right? She plays Dr. Heather Collins. And Dr. Heather Collins have a little something with Dr. Robbie because she is pregnant in this episode or in this series. She's British. Let me tell y'all, these British people, they coming for our black people. When it comes down to it, British actors are coming for black people because she portrays a black woman very, very well, and she's British. Now, I like Dr. Collins because she is bold, she is witty, she is smart, right? Believe it or not, my future girlfriend, whoever she is out there, if I were to marry a doctor, sign me up to, if it's Heather Collins, right? Heather Collins or Taylor Durden or even Issa Bernos. If I meet somebody of those caliber characters and they're doctors, sign me up. I will date and marry a doctor because they're smart, they're witty, they know what they're. Hey, hell, 2027, I'm going to become a doctor, not a medical doctor, but a doctor, right? So I really love Heather Collins, the character, because, she's smart, she's witty, she's pregnant. She knows what she wants. She's going through the emotions of processing that she's pregnant and potentially have a baby with Dr. Robbie. So now it's a whole thing. There's where the drama comes in. She's very, very good at it. I love her smile. I love her look. Her features are fantastic. She's in the show, and that's really good. Now you got my guy, not my guy because I don't know him. I don't know him physically, but Garant Howell. He plays Whitaker, and let me tell you, Whitaker in this season, he's having a shitty day. This man been peed on. He's been bled on. The first episode, I think the first 2 episodes, he lost his patient, right? He was doing compressions and the patient died. So he's kind of regretting because they were trying to get to know each other. He died. He lost the patient on his first day. Whitaker's having a shitty day. It's a lot of things. He has to go and change out his outfit a whole heck of a lot in this one season. So very, very good to say. Whitaker, he's my guy because he's just going through the motions. He's going through a lot. And I just feel so bad for Whitaker because he's such an innocent doctor. He's such an innocent man. And he's just having a shitty day, right? We all have those. Now, my other favorite, Sabriya Ganesh. She plays Dr. Samira Mohan. Dr. Mohan, she fine. I love her. She's 27, so hey, a couple years old. I'm a couple years older than her. She's dope too because she is smart. She's witty. She's beautiful, but she cares about a patient, right? Dr. Robbie in this season wants people to boost their numbers because there is one of the doctor managers. Let me see if I can get that name real quick on this list. I don't see her on this list, but she plays the medical director on the business side of things. I might have missed her, but Dr. Robert gets pressured about every doctor to have their numbers up. Their patients, you need 2 patients per hour. Got to get them numbers up because in the business aspect of it, your numbers got to show, right? And Dr. Mohan, the character, she cares about this one patient who, unfortunately, he's got diagnosed with sickle cell. So we all know about the ramifications of sickle cell. So she cares so much about their patients, and that's why she's slowing up and taking too much time on that patients in particular because she thoroughly cares, right? But she is smart. She's witty at what she does, right? These characters you just want to really fall in love with because I really love each character. Then you had Jalen Thomas Brooks. He plays Mateo. He's one of the nurses there. Then you had, my favorite, Alexandra Metz. Let me tell you something about her. I got to say, and she plays Dr. Yolanda Garcia. She's actually my favorite. And I'm not trying to get gross on the show. But boy, howdy. Alexandra Metz, she plays Garcia, Dr. Garcia. She's sexy. She feisty. She's spicy. She has a beautiful smile. She knows what she wants. And just like Dr. Langdon, Dr. Garcia is also arrogant. Arrogant. Now, I can't say I would want to punch her because I ain't going to punch no girl, right? But her arrogance is where you just want somebody to slap her. But then you can't help it because she's spicy too. Dr. Garcia is one of the lead doctors, and she knows it all. It's good to know your profession, right? And she do not want to mess up. She doesn't want to lose a patient. She don't want to mess up. You can't do nothing but love this character because she's spicy, just spicy. And then she had a moment with Dr. Santos. So when she had that moment, like, oh, okay, you swing for the same team, baby. Okay, I'll back off. You like the same team, right? She could be. I don't know. But then she gets the scalpel in her feet. Ugh, that was tough to watch. Very, very tough to watch. You can't do nothing but love her character. You just can't do nothing but love her character. You got Doug Justo. He's the guy that punched Dr. Evans. He's an ass. Not the character, not him in real life, but the character. And then I'm getting the list of other the patient actors and stuff. So, Crystal McNeil. I've seen her in some stuff too. She plays Kira. She's like the social worker. That's pretty good too. This show, in a nutshell, it's a great, great show. This is a show that please don't sleep on. You might like it. You got to have the stomach for it. I say don't watch this show if you're eating, right? I was trying to watch it, and then I was eating some spaghetti the other day, and I got grossed out. I'm like, I can't watch this while I'm eating. I got to not eat something while I'm watching the show. But it is a good show to really dabble onto these characters. are fantastic. I can't wait to see. And they got renewed for season 2, right? We saw it a couple days ago that they've been renewed for season 2. So I'm very, very ecstatic to see that season 2 was renewed for them. So congratulations to all the actors and actresses on the pit. HBO Max, streaming now. Go check it out. You don't want to miss it. You just don't want to miss it for sure. Now, before we get on to kind of a quick news here, because I want to talk about All American. The season 7 is available on Netflix. But before we get to that, of course, we got my guy T here is in the studio to give us the latest in sports news. Take it away, T.
It's that time again. Main man T.
Thanks, Kennedy. A.S. Tobias Harris spotted up from the left wing late in a Game 6 during the NBA playoffs first round last month. The Detroit Pistons veteran saw a New York Knicks wing, Mikal Bridges, sprinting at him, prompting Harris to put the ball on the floor and attack the basket instead. But Harris, looking to cap the possession with a dunk, had company at the rim. New York's OG and Anunoby had gotten there first, swatting the attempt away. Knicks guard Josh Hart recovered the ball, immediately throwing a hit-ahead pass to Bridges in transition. Bridges, with 2 defenders to beat in the open floor, Cade Cunningham in front and Malik Beasley closing from the left, pounded 2 dribbles into the Little Caesars Arena hardwood before rising for a left-handed slam over Cunningham's outstretched arm. "That's a man's jam," play-by-play announcer Ian Eagles shouted as Bridges finished the play. For good measure, Bridges shouted too and punched the air in celebration before getting back on defense. The full sequence, Bridges closeout, Anunoby's block, and then Bridges again for his thunderous dunk, showcase a Knicks vision for the two-way pair. Guard everyone and serve as floor spacers who punish opponents from the corners when defenses crowded guard Jalen Brunson. Adding the 28-year-old Bridges and the 27-year-old Anunoby came at a steep price, and with risks. In July, New York surrendered 5 first-round picks to land Bridges in a rare cross-down deal with the Brooklyn Nets. Less than 2 weeks earlier, the Knicks agreed to a 5-year, $212 million free agent deal, the richest in franchise history, to bring back Anunoby after trading R.J. Barrett and Emmanuel quickly to the Toronto Raptors last season. Some pundits criticized New York for the draft capital and salary cap space used to add 2 players who have never made an all-star team. Now, New York has its best chance yet at reaching the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 25 years. Much of the Knicks' success during this clutch time-fueled playoff run, including the chance to close out the defending champion Boston Celtics in Friday's Game 6, 8 p.m. ESPN, has featured the duo going toe-to-toe with the league's elite scorers. But after Bridges, Anunoby, and the Knicks defense were torched in Game 5 by the Celtics without Jason Tatum, New York might need more magic from its two-way wings. It's common for Bridges, the league's modern-day Ironman at 556 straight games to start his career, to be joined in his locker by massive bags of ice strapped to each knee. And on December 11, following the Knicks' loss to the Atlanta Hawks in the NBA Cup quarterfinals, he certainly needed them. Bridges had just been screened 50 times, the most any NBA player faced in a game this season. Before Bridges joined the Knicks, he was a 2022 runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year and had almost always been deployed onto opposing teams' best wing scorers, superstars such as Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and Jason Tatum. However, in Bridges' first season with the Knicks, Coach Tom Thibodeau had Bridges operate as the Knicks' point-of-attack stopper, an effort to save Ware and Taron Brunson, who, on offense, has handled the ball more than any NBA player this season. Through January, Bridges was navigating 25 screens per outing, more than any player in the league's 13-year database. Making matters even more challenging, the Knicks also were adjusting to Karl-Anthony Towns as their backstop after he played with elite rim protector Rudy Gobert in Minnesota. As such, teams tested New York's offseason additions on defense. For the most part, that strategy worked. Through November, New York's defense ranked 21st in the league. And even after meaningful improvement and a soft December schedule, the club was just 15th, a considerable drop from the 9th-ranked unit a season ago. The growing pains also hurt Bridges on the offensive end of the floor. During the 16-game, month-long stretch between November 1 and December 1, he took just 6 free throws total after averaging nearly 4 per game last season with the Nets. It all made for a stark difference from the seamless fit Anunoby proved to be when coming over from Toronto in December 2023. It takes time, Brunson said earlier this week of Bridges' season. It's like with rookies. People can be really good early, or people can develop and get better at some other point. You never know when that turning point is. I never really lost any faith because I've known him for so long. There were signs that Bridges was developing a comfort level all along, his 41-point performance against the San Antonio Spurs among them. And he even foreshadowed his clutch, ball-hawking tendencies that sealed comeback wins in Games 1 and 2 against the Celtics. Bridges logged blocks at the buzzer to hold on to wins over the Nets and Hawks, and in a February game against the Bulls, he blocked center Nikola Vucevic to send that contest to overtime. But Bridges and Anunoby also had an awakening on offense, triggered by Brunson's late-season ankle injury. The shift unlocked a new level of scoring from the duo that, if it comes through in the right moments, could bring New York back to the top sooner than anyone expected. When Brunson went down with a bad ankle sprain against the Los Angeles Lakers that would keep him out 15 games, it wasn't immediately clear who would shepherd the Knicks' offense. Backup point guard Miles McBride was also out of the lineup because of an injury. Third stringer Cameron Payne suffered one shortly after that, too. And while Towns is a fantastic playmaking center, he generally needs someone to initiate offense for him. That's also often true of Hart, who can give defensive fits, but more as a secondary ball handler. Bridges and Anunoby's roles, meanwhile, had clear top priorities in the Knicks-Brunson-led offense. No one in the NBA launched more corner threes this season than Bridges and Anunoby, who attempted 219 and 216, respectively. With a playmaking void in the club's offense, Bridges handled the ball more and ramped up his mid-range game. He ended the season shooting 50.7%, third in the NBA among volume shooters, and upped his scoring from 17 points per night before Brunson's injury to 20.5 in the guard's absence. It seems to have bolstered Bridges' scoring confidence in the late stages of games, when Brunson is taking fourth-quarter breathers. Meanwhile, Anunoby made an even bigger leap, going from 16.5 to nearly 23 points per game on improved efficiency. Our play style obviously highlights Jalen and KT. I think at times we can feature OG and McCall a little more. Hart said, I knew OG always had the ability to knock down shots, even last year with his mid-range step-backs, stuff like that, but I feel like he took it to another level when Jalen went down. The NBA is so situational because he's capable of having huge scoring nights, and sometimes his number's not called, but when his number is called, he rises to the occasion. The defensive-minded Thibodeau loves Bridges and Anunoby most for what they take away as defenders, particularly late in tight games throughout New York's wild clutch run this postseason. The Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown-led Celtics had shot just 13% 3 for 23 overall, with more turnovers than baskets, in 14 minutes of clutch time during the series. Boston, more reliant on three-pointers than any team in league history, has connected on only one of 11 attempts from deep in those scenarios, a massive credit to the Knicks' defensive wing duo. You're asking guys, particularly in 5-out situations, to get in to protect the paint, and also get out to cover the three-point line. And then when the ball gets shot to go and rebound, Thibodeau said of Bridges and Anunoby, having the versatility to play the 2, 3, and 4, it allows you to do a lot more switching. There's an argument to be made that the forwards are the Knicks' biggest bellwether in the series with Boston. When they each play well, like in the second half of the closeout Game 6 in Detroit, or the Game 4 victory against Boston, in which they combined for 19 points on 9-4, 10 shooting in the pivotal fourth quarter, it's incredibly tough to overcome. On nights such as Game 5, when the Knicks defense allowed 22 three-pointers and Anunoby and Bridges themselves combined for 5 for 26 shooting, it put an unsustainable burden on Brunson and Towns to score. If New York can muster enough out of their wings to knock out Boston, and in doing so, become the favorite to win the East, all the picks and salary for Bridges and Anunoby will have been worth it for the Knicks, whom almost no one expected to get this far after faltering against their rival during the regular season. From the moment Brock Purdy stepped in as their starter in 2022, the San Francisco 49ers have told anyone who would listen that he is not only their quarterback of the present, but also their future. On Friday, the Niners put significant action behind those words as they were finalizing a 5-year, $265 million deal that included $181 million in overall guaranteed money with Purdy. Sources told ESPN's Adam Schefter. At the league meetings in Florida, General Manager John Lynch made it clear that he believed the deal was in the offing. "I think when we get the deal done," Lynch said March 31st. "That's what I believe. We'll just leave it at that." From there, Purdy reported for the start of the offseason program in April, a sign that things were trending toward a deal. The week of the NFL draft, Lynch said there were substantive talks that had things going in a good direction. Finally, it all came together on Friday. Perhaps that should be no surprise, though, given the 49ers' belief in Purdy. A few days after a disappointing 6-11 season that saw his production dip from his Pro Bowl level in 2023, Lynch and Coach Kyle Shanahan said they wanted Purdy around for the long haul. "Brock is the leader of our team," Shanahan said January 8th. "I've loved these 3 years with Brock. I plan on being with Brock here the whole time I'm here. Brock's been a stud. He's a guy I've got a lot of confidence in just as a human. But it starts with what he's done in the field these last 2.5 years, and we're capable of winning a Super Bowl with him. We just almost did. And I know he is capable of getting the Niners a Super Bowl in the future." As the Niners cleaned out the locker room after the season, Purdy left no doubt that he wanted to stick around too, but also repeatedly pointed out his desire to get something done sooner than later. In recent years, the 49ers have had drawn-out, more contentious discussions with the likes of defensive end Nick Bosa, receiver Brandon Ayuk, and left tackle Trent Williams. Those negotiations all dragged deep into training camp and kept that trio away from the team for most of the offseason program. Because Purdy plays quarterback, though, there seemed to be plenty of urgency on both sides to find common ground long before the late summer deals of recent years. More than anything for me, I want to be able to handle business the right way and do it in a respectable manner and get back to my team as fast as I can get going, Purdy said on January 6th. "That's my mindset, my focus. And obviously I want to help the team across the board with all the other guys who need to get their deals done, but everybody will handle it the right way and how they need to." As it turned out, that's exactly what the Niners and Purdy were able to do in a negotiation that more closely resembled a contract extension San Francisco worked out with quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo in 2018. That year, the 49ers signed Garoppolo to a 5-year, $137.5 million deal on February 8th. At the time, it made Garoppolo the highest-paid player in the league. Because Garoppolo was set to be an unrestricted free agent and Purdy still had a year left on his rookie deal, the Purdy deal didn't get done as quickly as the Garoppolo one, but it still happened long before other big San Francisco contract extensions. For Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, as the last pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the new contract will go down as one of the biggest raises in NFL history. Under the terms of his rookie deal, he was set to count just $5.365 million against the cap in 2025. Purdy is coming off a 2024 season in which he was often without key members of his supporting cast. Running back Christian McCaffrey, Achilles knee, Ayuk knee, Williams ankle, tight end George Kittle hamstring, and receiver Deebo Samuel calf illness ribs all missed varying amounts of time. In 2024, Purdy finished 7th in the NFL in QBR 68.0, 10th in passing yards 3,864, and 3rd in yard per attempt 8.5 in his 15 games. Purdy also struggled in a handful of bad weather games and was unable to lead fourth-quarter comebacks in some close and late situations. His 1.7 touchdown-to-interception ratio was tied for 23rd and a dip from the 2.8 he had in 2023. Still, the Niners' belief in Purdy never wavered in large part because of his body of work. He took over as a starter for an injured Garoppolo in Week 13 of 2022, and, including playoffs, the Niners are 27-15 in games he started. In that time, Purdy ranks 4th among all quarterbacks in QBR 70.2, 3rd in passing yards 9,452, 1st in yard per attempt 8.9, and 7th in touchdown passes 64. His contract situation settled. Purdy can turn his attention to helping the Niners get back to contending after a down season. I want to be in San Francisco and play my football career here, Purdy said. I know that I'm the guy for this organization and that I can do what it takes to help lead us where we want to go. Back to you, Kennedy.
Thanks, T. Thank you so very much. So I was watching All-American real quick, and I was watching All-American, and I was having some ice cream. It was a couple days ago, or about 2 days ago, because it was my a tub of ice cream that I got for my birthday. So, you know, I had it's okay when you work out, you know, you can have a little sweets. You don't do that every day, but, you know, it's okay to have a little something. My favorite ice cream, though, private selection strawberry shortcake. And what I do, y'all, is I buy the strawberry shortcake from Private Selection. That's the company that, of course, obviously make a whole lot of fruity stuff. You can get it. I got mine from Kroger. I shop at Kroger. I ain't ashamed to say I shop at Kroger. And I'm able to put some granola, right? Let me tell y'all real quick. Granola and ice cream is the best thing since sliced bread. Now, again, I buy the Private Selection strawberry shortcake ice cream, and then I have the chocolate nut granola from the company called Naked. You can just kind of pour it on there, you eat it, and it's the best thing since sliced bread. So, again, a little tidbit, if you want a little dessert, a little something there, you can't go wrong with strawberry shortcake ice cream. I was eating like a scoop of that while watching the first couple episodes of All-American Season 7. It feels good to see that this show has been going on for a while. I remember when the show first came out in 2018. This show's been out for a while. And I'm glad that they're going strong. I hate that they canceled All-American Homecoming, the story about the folks in Atlanta. I was very sad about that. But the show is still going on strong, and you can tell that we're starting to get into the new people, right? We're getting some new actors, some new actresses to play these characters, and that's going to be the focal point. We won't see Spencer James, played by Daniel Ezra. We won't see that character. We'll hear his voice, but we won't see him on camera. It's good to see you guys. Jordan Baker's coming back to play. Michael. I can't pronounce his last name, but Michael Biley? I might have butchered his name. Jordan Baker's coming back. Olivia Baker, played by Samantha Logan's coming back. You got Layla Greta. I can't pronounce her last name either, but she's coming back as well. So you got, and Breezy. Breezy's going to be coming back to play Coop. I remember Breezy when I first heard her rap, and then when she was in Empire. Good show. So you got those people coming back, but then we're kind of stirring away from the OG All-American cast lead to the new people. And I think I'm here for it. I think that I'm liking the story here, right? You give the young talent some taste into this, give some young talent into the game so they can get into the story and see how far this goes. Now, if they are pretty good this season, they might get ready for season 8, right? And it's good. You got a good show. If you pass 3 seasons, you got a good show here. From the CW right here in Atlanta. So shout out to them as well. We're going to watch more episodes of this so I can give you guys a full in-depth review on All-American, but wanted to say that it's available on Netflix if you want to watch it and keep up with it. So that's going to wrap it up here on our podcast here today. We hope that you guys enjoy this special episode. Again, stay tuned. Monday, we're going to be back Monday for What Had Happened Was podcast. Evelyn is filming a lot of stuff. We're both filming, so we didn't have the time to do the episode today, but we'll be back Monday to do another episode of What Happened Was podcast, because a lot of people have been following us. So we thank y'all for that as well. And if you're following us on the Heat 94.6 or the Swanky Radio, Swanky 93.3 Radio, or my social medias, we thank y'all as well. And until then, we will see you and catch you guys on the next podcast. I've been your podcast host, K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas. So long, stay safe, stay swanky.
Go! What's going on in Hot Atlanta? Live from Swanky 93.3 and the Heat 94.6 brings back the hottest hip-hop radio show live from K.L.P. Entertainment and K.L.P. Studios. Go! It's K.L.P. Aftermath. Morning with your host, K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas.
You know what it is? Put your hands up.
Tune in now on any audio platform.
Go.